Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. Today I am going to be reviewing BTC and ETH, and I will maybe review a few altcoins. We'll see. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert. Do your own research. Okay, so let's look at BTC USD on the 1 day. On the weekly, it still looks like not great in my opinion. Like, this is, as I always said the last few market reviews, this is not really indicative of bullish accumulation. Bullish accumulation is more seen in small wicks and just less volatility in general. This is more indicative of a market top in the short term or long term, depending on your perspective. For instance, like this current price action that we're seeing right here, it looks more similar to like this, where you see like massive wicks in both directions, lots of volatility, big sell volume, etc. Or like, market tops like this. It doesn't really look like this green box here where we see just tighter candles and, just a ranged environment, or like this too. Yeah, so in my opinion, this still doesn't look really great on the higher time frame charts. Let's look at it on the 1 day here. On the 1 day overall, it's still a ranging environment in my opinion. We're still seeing, as I said the last few videos too, potential lower low here on the daily, which obviously is not great if you denote this March 25th kind of swing low around 50K as like the last low. This certainly could be a lower low, and this right here could have been a lower high on the daily. If this is the case, then the market structure, in my opinion, has been broken, and we are heading lower. That would mean that we are seeing lower highs, both set in mid-April to current, and lower lows, as denoted by these two red boxes here. So if this is in fact the high, and this will actually start to be printed here on the lower time frame charts, like the 4-hour structure is already broken, in my opinion. And I'll say that marking this March 25th area as a low, there are a lot of people that I've read arguments for that they, and this is something that I've thought about too, is this area in late February, early March, and then this area again in late January, early February. These areas, these green boxes, these were more significant lows because of how long they took to form. Lows in general can be easily spotted on a chart, and in my opinion, these two were significant lows that were formed. I mean, they occurred over the course of a very long time, several days to form, and that's usually what lows, bottoms, and market tops as well. They usually take a long time to form in general. And with these two examples in the green boxes, these took a while to form for the lows, and this is kind of more like typical and more significant in my opinion when you are marking lows on a chart. What we're seeing with the last two, there are some arguments that this area wasn't really a significant low. It would be more akin to saying that there's other areas on the chart I can't really see. Maybe like something like this might be a low. People might say, oh, this is like a low here. But I mean, price didn't really hang around that area very long. And similar to this area in March 26th, price didn't really hang around this area very long either. So I could see an argument in general for the lows being formed right now. So for instance, we might see something like this, like we might see like come back down to this level, more chop around, and then go higher. And in which case this would be a higher low than the one set in February, late February, early March. But that's kind of like the bullish case scenario for BTC USD, and I'm totally getting ready for the possibility that BTC USD could be hitting a bearish trend. I mean, on the 4-hour, this to me still doesn't look very good in general. I mean, you can kind of see this like high here, and this potentially is a lower high that just got marked. And if the lows around the 48K area get broken, then I think we are going to probably hit somewhere in the mid to low 40s is kind of like the next area up. Like there's probably going to be some inefficiencies to clean up around this area, around 40K. But, you know, this area hasn't been tapped since early March. And when I say like these areas too, mid 40s should certainly give some sort of bounce if price gets to that level. I feel pretty confident about that. So like, you know, you might see price blitz down, go to this box, bounce, and then good reaction. And then, so what I'm trying to say is that I expect there to be some good support, at least on the first bounce at around 43K or something like that, or even like 45K. There will be something too. Like there's going to be liquidity below this swing low at 47K. Like there's going to be liquidity all along this area, in my opinion. And so there's going to be the resting orders, like anywhere from like probably 45K to 40,000. There's going to be a lot of orders, is my guess. So right now it certainly doesn't look super bullish, in my opinion, like on any time frame chart. I personally am still hoping that price is going to kind of chop around here and form like this low. What does this mean for alt season and altcoin pumps? Personally, Bitcoin has to finish doing its thing before altcoins can collectively pump. Bitcoin has to make a big move in either direction, I don't know, either up or down, before altcoins really collectively pump, in my opinion. We did see an environment in January where price kind of slowly bled down, and this is where the last time that altcoins all collectively pumped. I mean, we saw a lot of good pumping throughout February, March, and April, but there were like a certain sector that was pumping, and like certain type of coin, you know, like Sam coins or like old dinosaur coins, or you know, those that like you had to basically go by sector instead of really having a whole collective altcoin pump like we saw in January. So what am I basically looking for here? I'm looking for price to finish doing whatever it's doing. The low might be at 45K. You know, these lows still around 50K might hold as well. Like there's still probably going to be some support there. Although I wouldn't expect there to be great support given price already kind of hung out in that area like a few different times. Like you can kind of see that this area was already tapped once back in late March, you know, first test, best test, and then it went a little bit deeper back in late April. So if we see another revisit to this area, I do expect there to be a bounce, but I don't expect there to be like a great bounce given some of those orders have already filled up. What am I looking for in terms of BTC USD for support levels? As I said, like mid 40s and low 40s should have some support. If this current 50K level falls, and we will see kind of the overall reaction. It's certainly possible that Bitcoin kind of forms this type of range where we see a range from 65K all the way down to like the high 40s or low 50s. And price just ranges. This would be like an ideal scenario for altcoins. However, I mean, you know, we'll take what the market gives us, the bottom line. We won't, I can only hope for so much personally. And, you know, it doesn't matter what I really want. It doesn't matter what is best for me. It's just going to happen how it happens. So this would be the ideal scenario, is if, you know, price kind of forms this range overall from 50K to 65K. Certainly possible. If in fact, though, this 48K level does get broken, then I think that the low 40s is probably the next level up, in my opinion. And it's certainly possible that it gets there. Again, like the structures on 4 hour are still like not great looking, in my opinion. So, you know, but that said, like I'm still bullish until shown otherwise for now. There is high sell volume. We are seeing some nasty moves from 65 down to 50. We are seeing lower highs on 4 hour. You know, that's all certainly valid, but Personally, I'm not really trading this chop as much like actively. I'm more just scaling into altcoins. So ETHUSD looks pretty good in general. Here is a infograph on the chart that I've been posting. Accumulation followed by 50% move. Accumulation, now another big move. What we are seeing too is you can also fib it out. And this is another chart I did on Twitter. But you should definitely definitely prepare yourself for the possibility of like 2,900 or something like that. Like these areas would be interesting to buy at. In my experience, the 2,900 the 382 fib usually always gets tapped for the most part. Eventually, this is like the area that I would target myself. Do I think this is a market top for ETHUSD? No, I don't. I think this is still going to like the mid or the kind of like the higher 3Ks or 4Ks in the coming weeks. I still feel this is a pretty bullish coin. I mean, overall, look at it; it's like still really bullish. ETH/BTC outperforms, or Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin over the next few weeks. I mean, look at the ETH/BTC chart; so it looks really good. Yeah, I would totally just view like the 382 and the 0.5 fib as like entry levels. This is like 2,800 and like high to mid 2,900s is like the areas that I would target myself. Personally, I think that these levels are probably going to get tapped, but you know, let's just see. Like, I'm still bullish on ETH/BTC or ETHUSD and ETH/BTC. I think you should just buy dips. Let's briefly look at some altcoins. I'm looking at altcoins that have bullish market structures in general, and that's a lot of them. Let's just look at Solana, I guess. This one's obviously pretty bullish, but it looks like a short-term market top in my opinion. Like, I'm targeting lower. I'm targeting 35 and 31. Like, that's kind of like the areas that I'm looking at. I think, as I just said, I think the 382 and the 0.5 will get tapped in general. These are the two levels that I'm looking at for Solana. Let's look at Litecoin USD. This looks pretty good in general. I mean, price is kind of ping-ponging between 330 and 275. And these are significant weekly levels, so it's not a huge surprise that this area just kind of price just ping-pongs a little bit in between. And then I still feel that 420 is going to get tapped, though, eventually. Like, this is still, it's almost inevitable that it hits 420, in my opinion, at least. I don't know when, but, like, the volume is still pretty good, as you can see right here. Like, decent volume coming in. And, like, the biggest weekly volume overall since, like, alt season, which is actually kind of incredible thinking about how much volume was traded back in 2017, given how much smaller crypto was back then relative to like right now. It's still pretty unreal, like thinking about that. But yeah, so it's not really a surprise that prices just kind of ping-ponging between these two levels. I'm still really bullish though. So again, similar to ETH USD, I would just consider buying dips. Like for 275 already got tapped just now. If Bitcoin does shit the bed and go lower, then like something like 230 to like 230 to like 210 would be like kind of the next levels up. Let's look at Link, everyone's favorite coin. I already had this. Okay. Link USD is actually doing really well in this current environment, so definitely one to watch. It's getting bought up quickly. If you look on the 4-hour here, it had kind of this like potential double top area, which you saw around $44, and price did reject already, but it didn't really have a super negative reaction quite yet. We're seeing kind of like this like chop around here. Now, it's certainly possible if Bitcoin does make another leg down, then I expect $35 to get tapped. This is like the former highs back in February, and I expect this kind of to like go there. But I mean, eventually Link will break all-time highs, in my opinion. Like, it's just a matter of time. But whether or not this level gets broken, there are two trade setups you can take. You can either just take like buying the dip, kind of like maybe 38 to 35 would be like kind of my area, or you can wait for a break of it, then a retest, and then go higher. That's kind of like two trade scenarios I would take. There are a few other altcoins that I was looking at. Compound is one that looked pretty good in my opinion. This is like the first level up that we're seeing right now, around 740. And there's a bigger block of consolidation around 670. This is like be the next level of interest in my opinion. Price chopped around in that area for quite a while. And it looks like the 200 EMA on the 4 hour should probably come up to this area within the next few days. There's a few other EMAs too in this area as well. But it wouldn't surprise me at all to see like this kind of go. Don't think this is the end for Compound. I do think that this is still a bullish market structure in general. And where did I find this level? I found it like from this like brief consolidation area here. So Compound, I mean, it's coming up upon its first level of support now around 740. But the next level, in my opinion, would be kind of like the 690 to 640 area. This is going to have quite a bit more support, in my opinion. Let's briefly also look at Dogecoin. It's doing really well. Fuck it, I'll just go to the... there's not really much analysis I can give on a coin like this, just because it's either pumps to like high heaven or just dumps like hell. It still looks really good in the short term. I mean, it blew off top. There's a lot of sell side liquidity here that got eaten up like pretty quickly. You can see that price got near this area on lower time frame charts on May 3rd and rejected. But again, because this area had already gotten tapped several times, there's not going to be as many sellers here. And price just kept grinding up, and then it exploded up. On lower time frame charts, we are seeing some pullback, and this I guess a pretty big blow off top from really the start of the move around 40 cents all the way up to 65 cents, and is now kind of pulling back. There's going to be a ton of volatility here, so I would definitely lower trade size, lower your margin. I mean, and leverage. This is just like kind of. It's going to be very volatile on lower time frame charts, but this is going to still be like a pretty good asset to day trade. If you look, I mean, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but like there's still this inefficiency to fill out right here. I think that price will eventually grind up to that point, and either like hit a bearish retest or go lower. But in terms of like where this is headed on the short term, I don't really honestly know. A decent entry might be something like 50 cents if it comes. Price already kind of tapped this region as well before. Around 50 cents, it already blitzed down, and now it's kind of like chopping around. This would be like a very aggressive entry in my opinion. Like 40 cents would probably be a little bit safer. Will it get there? I don't know. I mean, like Dogecoin is very unpredictable in general, so like just definitely be careful if you trade this one and just like probably swing it. But I mean, overall, like high time frame charts, like $1 is probably going to hit. Like everyone always joked about that, but it's probably going to hit $1. Like it's not that far away anymore. 2x is a day in the life of Dogecoin, so certainly think it's probably going to hit $1. After that, I have no idea. It might have like a blow off top like XRP did in like 2017 or something like that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to be safe while trading. This is like a pretty volatile environment. I would not personally scalp unless you're an expert scalper. It's very choppy right now, so good luck out there.